She helped destroy my family, got pregnant by my dad, and now wants my help? I laughed in her face and told her to fuck off. She thought she could guilt me into forgiving her, but I gave her the brutal reality check she deserved. They always say grief changes people, but nobody ever warns you what happens when the person you trusted most turns into a stranger. 14 months ago, my mom died. 14 months since the sound of her voice, her laughter echoing in the kitchen, the way she made everything feel safe. I was 16 then. I'm still 16 now. But in those 14 months, I've aged a lifetime, and not in the poetic way people write in books. I mean the kind of aging where bitterness hardens your heart, where trust crumbles, and where love turns into something sharp and dangerous. The first few months were nothing but silence and heartbreak. My dad, he used to be my hero. The guy who'd run around the house singing 80s songs off key, who used to cook Sunday pancakes with my mom while they danced barefoot in the kitchen. We were a family that made people jealous. The kind that looked perfect. Until we weren't. 9 months after my mom's funeral, he brought someone home. I remember it vividly. I was on the couch, curled under one of my mom's old blankets, watching some garbage show I didn't care about just to keep my brain from spinning into the black hole it had become. The door opened, and in came this woman. She had a smug smile and her hand resting on her swollen belly. Dad walked in behind her, shifting nervously, avoiding my eyes. "This is Olivia," he said. "She's, my girlfriend, and we're having a baby." Just like that. No warning. No lead-up. No gentle talk. He dumped that bomb on me like it was normal. Like this woman hadn't just spit on my mom's memory by existing. I didn't say anything at first. I just stared at him. At her. At the belly. Then it exploded out of me. Not screaming. Not crying. Just cold truth. Razor sharp. So I guess all that talk about people who move on quickly after their spouse dies being fake and disrespectful, that was all bullshit? His face dropped. I watched him try to stammer out a defense, eyes darting, mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. "Because you said it," I continued, voice low but venomous. "You said people who moved on fast didn't really love their spouse. You said it was gross. You said the memory of the person deserved more." His girlfriend stepped forward, her arms crossed like she owned the house. "Excuse me, but maybe you should focus on the fact that your dad is trying to build a future. You should be happy." I looked at her like she'd slapped me. "Happy? You want me to be happy that my dad moved on like my mom was just a placeholder? A phase?" She bristled. "The baby doesn't deserve this kind of negativity. You need to grow up. Your mom is gone." I stood up. My voice didn't shake. "Yeah, she's gone. And now her ghost has to watch her husband knock up the first woman who smiled at him 5 months after she died. If there's a hell, I hope he enjoys the view." I didn't stay in that house. Not with Olivia there. She moved in the same day. Like she'd just been waiting. My dad begged me to give her a chance. Said things had happened fast. That he didn't plan it. "You think that makes it better?" I snapped. "You didn't even wait a full year. Mom's toothbrush was still in the bathroom when you started screwing her." He looked broken. And for a moment, I saw the man I used to love. But it wasn't enough. I packed a bag and went to my grandparents. They didn't ask too many questions. Just opened the door, gave me a hug, and told me the guest room was mine. My dad tried to visit me every few days. He brought flowers, food, even tried to bring Olivia once. Big mistake. She looked around their small home like it smelled bad. "This place is quaint." I ignored her. My grandpa didn't. "If you don't like it, you can leave," he said flatly. Dad's visits continued though. He kept saying he wanted us to have a relationship. But I made one thing clear. As long as she lives there, I don't. I thought the worst was over. I'd carved out a life. I was healing. Slowly. Painfully. Then came Tuesday. I was studying when my phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. The message read, "Hey, it's Olivia. I need you to come over now. I'm locked out and bleeding. I need rest, please." First, I left. Then I replied. "FK off." Blocked. I wasn't her emergency contact. I wasn't her housekeeper. I wasn't her punching bag. She called me names later from my dad's phone. Voicemails, texts, rage-filled paragraphs about how I was heartless, a little BTCH, selfish, disgusting. I didn't answer. I didn't flinch. She had made her bed. She could sit in it. Bleeding or not, that woman buried my mom twice, once in the ground, and once in memory. I didn't owe her a damn thing. The next day, Dad came to my grandparents' house alone. He looked like he hadn't slept. His hair was a mess, and he clutched a paper coffee cup like it was the only thing keeping him alive. "She was bleeding," he said without a greeting. "You didn't answer. She had to sit in the car until I got home." I looked him dead in the eyes. "And?" He flinched. "She's carrying my child." Not mine, I snapped. Don't confuse us. He started to speak, but I raised my hand. No. You made this mess. You invited her in. You let her disrespect my mom. And now you expect me to roll over and help the woman who called me disgusting? Who said my grief was an inconvenience to her? He didn't have an answer. Just silence. I'm not your therapist, your babysitter, or your fixer. I'm your daughter. And you chose her. He looked like he wanted to argue, but he didn't. Because he knew I was right. 2 weeks had passed in suffocating silence. No texts, no calls, just the deafening void that settled between us like a cold shadow. One rainy afternoon, my grandma handed me a thick envelope, its paper worn and heavy in my hands. It bore my dad's handwriting, jagged and uneven, like the man who wrote it. "This came for you," she said softly, eyes full of something I couldn't name. I wanted to rip it up, burn it, disappear it into the black hole where my hope used to live. But something stopped me. Inside were 7 handwritten letters, one for each agonizing day after Mom died, each page drenched in raw grief, regret, and the slow unraveling of a man who once seemed invincible. The first letter described the hollow silence of their home, the smell of her perfume lingering in the closet, the night spent on her side of the bed just to feel close. By the 7th letter, the tone shifted. He wrote of meeting Olivia, a woman who laughed at his jokes, the first flicker of light in his dark world. He confessed his guilt, his shame, and the unbearable ache of loss. He didn't ask for forgiveness. He didn't expect it, but I was forced to face the man behind the betrayal, a man just as broken as I was. Then came the stormy Thursday night when everything changed again. Dad texted me, sparse and heavy with meaning. "She's in labor, hospital. I don't expect anything. Just thought you should know." No begging, no guilt trips, just cold facts. Later, at 2:14 a.m., another text. "It's a girl. Both okay." My heart was a war zone. 3 weeks later, I found myself outside the hospital with a bag full of children's books, stories Mom used to read to me. I barely remembered walking to their room. When I opened the door, Olivia lay exhausted, pale, clutching her new daughter. Dad's eyes widened when he saw me. "You came," he whispered. I didn't say a word. The baby's blue eyes, so startlingly like Mom's, met mine. I reached out. She grasped my finger like she already knew me. I whispered, "What's her name?" "Hope," Dad said. Hope. Hope wasn't just a baby. She was a test of my anger, my pain, and my capacity to forgive. But Olivia, she wanted more than forgiveness. She wanted family. One night, after Dad tried to push us to be a family, I finally snapped. "Family?" I spat. "You want me to forget how fast you replaced Mom? How you brought her here like a damn trophy?" Olivia's eyes flashed. "I'm carrying your father's child. You think that means nothing?" "It means you're a woman who showed up 5 months after Mom died and acted like you owned my life," I said coldly. "I'm not playing happy family." Olivia's bitterness exploded the day she locked herself out and called me. She was pregnant, bleeding, and in pain. She begged me to help. I told her to fuck off. Dad was furious. He said I was cruel. But I wasn't cruel. I was broken. I couldn't play the hero for the woman who broke my family. Time passed. Dad begged for peace. Olivia demanded respect. I had a choice. Pretend everything was fine. Or fight for my truth. I chose truth. I chose myself. Because some wounds don't heal with apologies. Hope grew. Dad tried. I watched. And I waited. Not for forgiveness. Not for peace. But for respect. Because some scars are proof of survival, not weakness.